This week on Weekly News, we'll take a look at school safety.
We'll also take a look at the Oklahoma Blood Institute.
This and more coming up on Weekly News. Please stay with us.
From the campus of East Central University, welcome to the Weekly News with David Emmons, Jennifer McMahan-Curliss, Jeremy Stout with sports, and Shonda Holmes, serving East Central, Ada, and the surrounding community. Recorded live from ECU Studios, this is the Weekly News.
Hello, I'm David Emmons.
And I'm Shonda Holmes. Welcome to this edition of the Weekly News.
FBI agents have discovered new evidence at the former home of Terry Nichols just 3 weeks before the 10th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. The FBI renewed their search after receiving a tip that they may have missed evidence in the original investigation. The FBI found boxes of blasting caps and other explosives buried in a crawl space of the house in Harrington, Kansas. Retired FBI agent Dan Deffenbaugh says it's surprising that the FBI could have missed the evidence on a case this important. Attorney Brian Hermanson, who represented Nichols in last year's murder trial, says the evidence could have easily been planted since the house was empty for several years. According to FBI spokesman Jeff Lanza, the information gathered before the search indicated Nichols buried the boxes himself. While the discovery of the boxes is an embarrassment to the FBI, it makes little difference to the case, as Nichols is already serving multiple life sentences. After last month's school shooting in Minnesota, area schools make every effort to ensure children's safety. Here's Jennifer McMahan-Curliss with more.
The school shooting in Red Lake, Minnesota, which took place 2 weeks ago Monday, took the lives of 9 people. The tragedy took everyone by surprise, including the school system, which had taken every precaution to avoid such an event. Are Ada area schools prepared for such an occurrence? We went out to the schools to find out.
We have a special code that is announced to all the staff members to basically go into lockdown procedures where the students are locked down into their room. There are certain procedures that the teachers are to follow once they're locked down into their rooms. Then we also have people that look out for any students that may be outside of the classroom, and they're designated to make sure to get them into a safe area. The safety of the students is going to be first and foremost in our mind. The teachers do everything they can to make sure the students are in a safe area and that area is secured, and hopefully that we can keep whoever this person is out of that area.
Counselors and teachers are always on the look for those students that maybe throw up a red flag. You know, since the Columbine incident, you know, that kind of brought it to the forefront. An act of violence like what they've had at Red Lake is probably the worst case scenario, and it's your worst nightmare. If someone wants to do something like that, they're going to find a way to do it, and it doesn't matter if you have metal detectors at the door. It doesn't matter if you have guards outside. If someone's bound and determined to come in a school building and do something atrocious like that, they're probably going to find a way to do it. And the bad thing is you can't be ready for everything. You just have to hope you have enough precautions in place to cover you should something happen.
The area school systems are doing everything possible to make sure students are safe. Reporting for Weekly News, I'm Jennifer McMahan-Curliss.
East Central University football player Gerald Heller was arrested Saturday morning in the Pontotoc dorm's parking lot at 4:30 a.m. for burglary as well as assault and battery. According to the ECU police officer who made the arrest, Burt Miller, the ECU junior was placed under arrest after he broke down a teammate's door in the dorms and started a fight with him. Heller's bail was set at $1,000 and was not met until Wednesday, April 6th. After appearing in court, Heller's charges were dropped and he was given a $144 ticket for public intoxication. Due to the arrest, Heller was expelled from the university, as well as the ECU football team.
The Chickasaw Nation was developed in a way to help protect the children in public schools who are being bullied. Chickasaw Nation Bully Stoppers is an online form which can be anonymously submitted to a qualified person who then contacts the school to remedy the problem. The form is available at www.chickasaw.net. The Chickasaw Office of Strong Family Development Department Secretary Tashana Chapman says when she receives the forms, all the information is kept confidential and a contact person from the school is notified of the issue. According to Youth Program Coordinator Tony Pace, the program started this past January and has high hopes of putting a stop to local school bullies. Certain risks are always present when a person gets behind the wheel of a car, but those risks are greatly increased when driving at night. Here's David Emmons with more on the story.
According to the U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, drowsy driving causes more than 100,000 crashes a year, resulting in more than 40,000 injuries and over 1,500 deaths. British researchers have found that sleep deprivation creates many of the same limitations for drivers that alcohol does, such as shorter reaction time and inability to process information. NHTSA statistics also show that accident rates mirror daily human alertness patterns. The highest risk times of day for drowsy driving accidents is during mid-afternoon and overnight hours. The AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety surveyed over 2,000 U.S. and Canadian police officers and found that almost 90% had stopped a driver who appeared to be drunk but was actually drowsy. Safety products are available, such as an alarm that sounds when a driver's head nods. The AAA Foundation recommends pulling over if you start to feel drowsy and drinking a caffeinated beverage. Caffeine takes about 30 minutes to enter the bloodstream, so a short nap is also recommended. Reporting for Weekly News, I'm David Emmons.
Every year, blood donation saves thousands of lives. The Oklahoma Blood Institute provides many Oklahoma hospitals with the blood supply needed to treat trauma victims. The East Central Oklahoma Blood Institute in Ada is currently below the needed supply. Manager of the OBI in Ada, Susan Scroggin, stresses the need for alternatives to donating blood. Giving plasma, red blood cells, or platelets is a different procedure from the standard blood donation. These types of cells contained in blood are separated by machines, and the actual blood is circulated back to the donor. The procedure takes more than giving blood, but the benefits are great. Plasma and platelets are more effective in the ER trauma for trauma victims due to their clotting agents. Individually, these cells are overall more effective as life-saving agents. The OBI in Ada is located at 900 North Mississippi, and appointments are not needed. Coming up, we'll take a look at what goes into selecting the new pope. Stay with us. Monday marks the beginning of the first conclave since 1978. 115 Roman Catholic cardinals from all over the world will gather in Vatican City, Rome, to elect the new pope. The meeting of the cardinals is one of the closest guarded secrets in the whole world. The cardinals will meet in the Sistine Chapel for the secret voting of the new pope. All notes taken during the voting and even the ballots must be burned before anyone leaves the chapel, and daily scans for bugging devices will be conducted. One difference that will take place during this election is that the cardinals will not stay in the Sistine Chapel for the duration of the election process, but they will be able to walk to the newly constructed apartments next door. This is a major difference in the past papal elections. It can be expected major world news networks will be on location with cardinal experts to analyze cardinals' facial expressions and countenances. This election will be made many new and television news. According
to NASA spokeswoman Tracy Young, the Space Shuttle Discovery is currently being rolled out for a 4-mile journey to the launch pad in Cape Canaveral, Florida. The shuttle has been grounded since the explosion of the Columbia in 2003. According to CNN, Discovery is planned to be launched between May 15th and June 3rd. East Central science professor Dr. Carl Rutledge says he is surprised there have not been more than 2 space shuttle disasters because space shuttles go through so much more stress than other vehicles.
Many people are unaware that carrying prescription medicine in unmarked containers is against the law and can lead to serious consequences. Tory McGee has the details.
Many who take medications may be unaware that it's against the law to carry these prescription drugs unless they are in the original bottle from the pharmacy.
The intent of this law is to help law enforcement. If there's any question about whether or not something is illegal drugs, the police officers need to be able to identify these things properly.
So if they are your medications, why are you not able to throw them in one container while going somewhere?
There's a whole lot of prescription pills that are used for illegal purposes all over. I mean, there's pharmacies that sell them illegally. There's, people that work in pharmacies that steal them and sell them illegally. And we run into Xanax and Lortab and all that all the time that somebody gets prescribed and then they go and sell them to somebody else and they carry them around in a Ziploc baggie or whatever. And people who use those illegally, will buy those Monday through Friday deals that, to make it look like it's theirs,
If you plan to disregard this law, you could face heavy charges for the crime.
It's a misdemeanor for the first offense, which is up to a year in county jail, and felony for the second offense, which would be anything over a year.
So what can you do if you plan to travel and don't want to carry those large prescription bottles with you?
If a person's going on like a 1 week, 2 week vacation, yes, we could probably get some smaller containers and label all those properly, where they could have just the one little setup there where they could travel on a 1 week vacation or 2 week vacation, have everything pretty compact.
Although it may be hard to understand, it's very important that you obey this law.
Well, my opinion is that I understand why they have to do it, but I think it's a big inconvenience for a lot of people that, you know, really depend on having their medicine in the containers that tell them at what time to take them and stuff.
So remember, the next time you leave the house with your medications, you need them in the correctly labeled bottle. This could save you and the officers time and confusion. Reporting for the Weekly News, this is Tory.
Pontotoc County Bank of Roth, also known as PCB, has recently changed its name. Oklahoma Heritage Bank became the new name on April 11th. According to Daryl Fisher, chairman of the board of directors for the bank, a new name is now appropriate and timely. Chris Bolas, president and CEO of the bank, says the new name was chosen to show their heritage in each community, as well as to emphasize the bank's local management. Vice President and Cashier Marilyn Andrews says she has been reassuring bank customers that after the official name change, the bank will still recognize each customer's checks bearing the old name. Andrews also added customers can be assured the only change in the bank is the name. Coming up in sports, we'll look at the East Central University men's tennis team. Stay with us.
Well, Jeremy, I hear men's tennis has been doing great this season.
Oh, they sure have. With the help of a couple international students, the program has really taken off. East Central University men's tennis team welcomed Bethany College on April the 8th. The 35th ranked Tigers rode to a convincing win, beating Bethany by a score of 9-0. East Central's Jose Paz dominated in number 1 singles, winning 6-0 and 6-1, while Q Tran was perfect in number 3 singles, winning 6-0, 6-0. The Tigers were also overpowering in doubles play. Q Tran and Jack Ottengren were 8-6 winners, while Jose Paz and Shane Conroy won their match 8-4. The win improves the Tigers' record to 13-8 overall and 10-3 at home. East Central University is home to students from around the globe. Vanessa Tidmore takes a look at the international student athletes of the men and women's tennis teams.
Coach Charlie Hibbard's ECU Tiger tennis teams are home to 11 international student athletes.
With 14 players total, the tennis teams are 79% international. Where do these athletes hail from?
Ashford in Kent, which is in England.
I'm from Mexico.
I'm from South Africa, from Mexico.
To name just a few.
The tennis teams boast more international students than all other sports combined. I asked Coach Hibbard if she noticed any difference between the international students and the American ones.
Their skill level has been better than the players we've had in the past, so this is the best season we've ever had, and it's largely due to our international students, just their skill level. And work ethic's a little bit stronger than some of our Americans, I'm afraid.
That same skill and work ethic has aided the men's and women's teams in becoming the first ever East Central tennis teams to be ranked by the Intercollegiate Tennis Association. Out of over 100 Division II schools nationally, the men's and women's teams are ranked 35th and 38th respectively. For the Weekly News, this is Vanessa Tidmore.
The second day of the West Texas A&M University Subway Golf Invitational was canceled Tuesday, April 5th due to bad weather. Heavy winds and rain canceled the third round of the tournament at the La Paloma Golf Course. As a result, the first 2 rounds will stand for the final team standings. East Central ended up finishing third with a score of 595, only losing by 10 strokes to the leader. The Tigers shot a 302 in round 1 and a 293 in round 2. Kyle Cates had the ECU's best 2-round score with a 146. Kyle shot a 77 in round 1 and also had the lowest score for East Central in the tournament with a 69 in round 2. However, the 2 scores weren't enough for Kyle as he finished in 8th place. With Tiger winning records up, so is East Central school spirit. I had the chance this week to get some more opinions on how East Central could improve their school spirit. East Central University is well liked by most students. However, one complaint has been about the lack of school spirit, so we decided to hit the campus to get students' opinions on how school spirit can be improved.
I think that some really good ideas that for things they could do is I noticed that they already do a few fundraisers like while they're there. Like I remember the little blimp at the basketball games, like where they drop money and stuff. Really good idea. I think another good idea to bring more people in is to maybe encourage coaches to have it mandatory that athletes are encouraging other athletes from different sports.
Things like the crew, when they have crew movies, you know, go out, watch them. Just recently went to the Dash for Dollars thing they put on. That was pretty cool. You know, so I think a lot more people will get involved if you get out word of mouth, you know, tell a friend.
We need a lot more student body to come out to the games big time. That's the big one really that I see is if we could just have everybody stay in town just an extra day just to support the school, you know, that would be great.
Number one, we could have more pep rallies. We could have one with every game, with every football, basketball, and we could even have some for soccer and softball and baseball. And I just believe that we could have more student activities here for students, especially like for the sports that people don't go to that often, such as soccer and softball and tennis. And we could just be more student involved and have more activities for us.
Reporting for the Weekly News, I'm Jeremy Stout. 4 familiar names in high school basketball were recognized when the Oklahoma Coaches Association announced the rosters for the 2005 Southwest Orthopedic All-State Games. Derek Winston from Ada will play for the Large School East bunch. Mitchell Trimmer from Roth and Chase Bennett from Latta will come together to play for the Small School East team. Donnie Husband, the head coach of the Latta Panthers, will coach the Small School East squad. The games will be held Thursday, July 28, 2005 at Oral Roberts Mabee Center in Tulsa. The large school game will begin at 7 p.m. and the small school game will follow. Cynthia Yerby of Wolf, Oklahoma recently competed in the NYC Big Apple Grapple 28th International Pro Arm Wrestling Championship held in New York City. Yerby won the competitions in the women's open weight class, naming her the NYC Queen of Arms for the 6th year in a row. Yerby also a 10-time World Arm Wrestling Champion. Coming up, we'll take a look at East Central nursing programming. Please stay with us.
First-time mothers looking for help during and after pregnancy may qualify to have a registered nurse visit their home. The Children First program offered by the Oklahoma State Health Department accepts women up to 28 weeks pregnant and is designed to provide support for the mother, baby, father, and other family members throughout the pregnancy. According to lead nurse Becky Payne, once you join the program, you will receive weekly visits for the first month, then every other week until delivery. Once the baby is born, the nurse will visit once a week again for the first 6 weeks, every other week until the 21st week, and then monthly until the child is 2. During visits, the registered nurse will assist with health concerns and provide information about parenting, discipline, safety, and nutrition. There is a financial guideline used, but according to the registered nurse Nadine Witt, the guidelines are set fairly high, and even if you don't qualify for other programs offered, you may still qualify for Children First. According to Pamela Couch, recent studies show when a nurse makes home visits, the number of emergency room visits during pregnancy decrease. For questions, contact the local health department and find information on the Children First program. The Native American Student Association at East Central University is working very hard to keep Native American students motivated in earning a college degree. Chad Hamilton tells us more on the story.
Earning a bachelor's degree is challenging for many. We spoke to a member of the Native American Student Association, and she tells us how difficult it is for Native Americans to earn this degree, and also what they're doing to help them along their journey.
East Central has, I believe, anywhere from a 16 to about a 20% Native population. Native American students in a university setting and in college settings, of all the ethnic groups, of all the minority groups, Native Americans tend to have the highest dropout or stop-out rates. So it's essential to create a support network for Native American students on campus. This year, in order to recognize those Native American seniors that are graduating, because it is a big accomplishment, and many of them are first-time college students. So to recognize their achievement and what they had to do to get to that point, the Native American Student Association is sponsoring the Native American Achievement Celebration. We hand out stoles that have hand-done ribbon applique on them in a Native design.
So, how does one become a member of the Native American Student Association, and when are meetings held?
Every other Thursday at 3:30. Typically meetings are in the North Lounge, sometimes they're in the Tiger's Den. They usually are posted on the campus note board. In order to become a member, there is just a little membership sheet and then you pay dues. While the club is really geared toward Native Americans, the membership is open to anybody. Some of the things that NASA does is try to, in part, educate about Indian culture. They participate in the multicultural fair here on campus. They co-hosted a powwow here in the fall in conjunction with the Oklahoma Federation of Indian Women.
So remember, when earning a degree, there are people and programs out there to help aid you. Signing off for Weekly News, this is Chad Hamilton.
Since 1972, the East Central Nursing Department has been training students to help others in a wide variety of medical fields. According to a press release made by the department, the ECU nursing program received initial accreditation in 1978 from the National League for Nursing and has maintained the accreditation ever since. Department Chair Joseph Catalano says there are about 490 students currently in the program. This is a major difference since the first class graduated only 20 students in 1994. This number of students also included those enrolled at Southeastern Oklahoma State University in Durant. Nursing students there take ECU courses through interactive television, or ITV. Areas of study of nursing majors listed in the department's official brochure included nurse midwife, nurse practitioner, and clinical nurse specialist. Catalano says graduates from East Central Nursing Program have hired quite often in major hospitals in Oklahoma and North Texas, many times even before graduates from larger universities. Caring for flowers and gardens in the summer can be a real challenge with the Oklahoma heat. Kathy Krause tells us how to keep summer flowers looking beautiful.
Caring for gardens and flowers during the heat of the summer can prove difficult. Plants need special treatment to keep them healthy and looking their best. Flower enthusiast at East Central University, Rose Lee, explains how the university keeps the flowers on campus looking spectacular during the warmer seasons. Right after planting, Lee tells us when the best time to fertilize is.
Preferably, you go ahead and water them in with the fertilizer then.
Fertilizing isn't the only concern to have.
A problem with bugs too. We have to go back and spray the worst ones with soap and oil and water. It's a constant job here, just weeding and watering and trying to keep the bug population down. These are some wonderful plants to grow in Oklahoma. Petunias, marigolds, zinnias, ageratum.
For the Weekly News, I'm Katherine Krause.
Coming up, we'll take a look at ECU's Orange Crush. Stay with us.
The Meals on Wheels Foundation originated in England and came to the United States in 1944. Ada Meals on Wheels is set up to provide meals to people who otherwise might not be able to eat daily. Meals on Wheels is dedicated to serving hot, low-cost meals to individuals who could not live independently without the service. The Meals on Wheels trays come from Valley View Regional Dietary Services. The menu selected is limited, but special diet exceptions can be made. The Ada Community Resource Guide states in order to receive meals, recipients must go through an interview. The number of meals that can be served depends on the availability of trays as well as how many volunteers are willing to deliver the meals. Meals are delivered 5 days a week and the cost is $9. To set up a meal schedule or volunteer services, the phone number is 332-4121. The office hours are Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. More about the Meals on Wheels Foundation can be found at www.nationalmealsonwheels.org. Last week was East Central University's Orange Crush. This celebration brought all sorts of fun, including music, contests, and lots of mud. Amy Hughes has more on Orange Crush 2005.
Orange Crush 2005 kicked off last Wednesday night with Dash for Dollars in the University Center atrium. ECU students were given the opportunity to compete for a chance to win up to $500. Only one winner was crowned, securing $162 in his pocket.
It's great. I got money now. I can go home.
Students enjoyed having their pictures taken in wacky 3D mode Thursday afternoon in the UC Atrium. That evening, the ECU Jazz Band filled the atrium with the sound of music. The jazz band played several exotic pieces fitting a Spanish theme. Wrapping up the week on Friday was the messiest event of all, Mudstock 2005.
Fight the mud! Basically, we had Mudstock today, and it was just an event to come out and bring everybody together, get a little wet. It's part of Orange Crush Week.
Fire trucks helped convert a field into a pile of mud where students competed in several games and enjoyed sloppy joes and cokes afterward. Reporting for Weekly News, this is Amy Hughes.
The Broadway Dance Academy will be hosting the Day of Dance on April 15th at 7 p.m. The show will consist primarily of the Shooting Stars, a group of 15 girls from ages 4 to 10. The Shooting Stars will be performing a wide variety of dances, ranging from ballet to tap. 3 girls from ages 11 to 15 will be dancing in 2 jazz pieces, and 4 girls from 16 to 17 years old will be performing a modern piece. The performances are to be held at the Academy, located on the corner of Broadway and Main. The show will be open to the public with a $3 admission. One of the instructors of the class, Mrs. Kathy Hentham, promises the audience is in for a treat. If you are looking for something fun to do with the family this summer, Ada has a lot of exciting events in store. Coming up, the 2nd annual Ray Stout Memorial Warbird Fly-In will be taking place. The event will be coordinated by the Ada Air Expo and will feature a vast array of wartime aircraft. According to City Hall Public Information Officer Mark Bratcher, the event will take place at the end of June. Some other upcoming events are the annual PEC Day and the Take a Kid Fishing Day. To keep up to date on all the summer fun in Ada, check out www.adaok.com. That's all for this edition of Weekly News.
Thanks for watching.
And remember, Ada, stay classy.
The Weekly News is produced by mass communication students in the Communication Department at East Central University. Weekly News serves the East Central University campus. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of East Central University or the service provider.